I begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Today is the day 46 of the Grand Australian Ride. Today I rode from Canberra to Orbost. The route was from Canberra all the way to Birdwood, and then down to Batman's Bay, and then to Orbost. We stopped in Birdwood for some breakfast. Then we went down to Batman's Bay and then reached all the way to Orbost. And we stopped along the way to get some ice cream and obviously fuel up as well. The ride date was 14th of June 2022. The time taken was 10 hours and 55 minutes. The weather was very foggy when we were up high and very cold and freezing. But as we got down near Batman's Bay, it got a bit warmer. The distance we traveled was 528 kilometers. There was a lot of twisties along the way and it was steep downwards. And then at a later stage, it was all hilly with rolling hills and a lot of fun riding. We took 2 fuel stops, one in Queanbeyan in New South Wales and the other one in Pambula in New South Wales as well. And we finished in Orbost pretty late at night when it was dark as well. Good morning. Today is day 46 and we are traveling from Canberra to Orbost. And we're going to be going via Batman's Bay. So the total distance will be around 530 kilometers. So from Canberra to Batman's Bay we'll be riding on the internal road, and from Batman's Bay we'll continue on the A1. Right now the time is 8:30. We are planning to leave by 7:30, so we are about an hour behind, but that's okay. Still a good start. The plan is to go to spend about 15-20 minutes around the town, check out the Parliament and a few things, and go straight for Batman's Bay. The distance from here to Batman's Bay is around 150 kilometers. Yesterday we came in over here at the apartment, ordered in the food, and just everyone was really tired, particularly with the cold situation. My hands had frozen, so I had to defrost it. So did Prerna. Now Prerna is resting today, and Nicole will be joining me on his Harley. So yeah, really looking forward to the ride, and I'll see you on the road. So we are good to go. Om Ganeshaya Namah. Shri Aja Shakti Mata ki jai, Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai, Har Har Mahadev Har. Oh yeah. Okay, so the first order of the day is to check out the Parliament. Look at the birds around here. That is an amazing start of the day. Look at that. Some kind of parrots. It's very common around Australia. It's very cloudy today, so we are just hoping that it won't rain. Oh, this is Canberra. That's a stadium over there on the right. It's a very different city compared to rest of the Australian city. You know, if you know about Chandigarh or Gandhinagar in India, oh, there it is. It is similar to that. That is the Australian Parliament right there, right in front of us. I have to just pull on the side so that Nicole can join me. Oops. So that is the Australian Parliament. I'm gonna try and stop around there, take a couple of pics before leaving for the day. Oh, how loose, sir? I have the screw. Fuel પુરાવીને કરી નાખશું. જોઈને પછી આગળ. At the Australian Parliament. So try and park somewhere so we can take a photo or something and then get going. Yes. So the parking is somewhere over here. It's underground parking.
You have arrived.
Wait. આયા ક્યાંક ઉભા રહી જાય 2 મિનિટ ને ફોટો પાડ લઈ ને ઉભા રહીને ફોટો પાડ લઈ હે ના ચડાવવું નથી રોડ ઉપર ફોટો પાડ લઈ ફટાફટ આન જાઓ આયા સુંદર Okay. तो ये टूल में ठीक है हमरा क्या पार्किंग में स्क्रू Yeah. You just quickly tighten it up. So we stopped over here in front of the Parliament to take a photo. Obviously, the police. Wait a second. So. Yeah, so the police inquired on why are we standing because we're not allowed to. But we said that we Nicole's clutch went loose and because of the vibration it was just going flipping around. That's due to the fall he had yesterday. I mean Prerna had yesterday on the bike. So we had to fix it immediately and he was like, no, we can't move, we have to fix it. So when the police came we were fixing that clutch, so they said, oh, don't worry, and just let us do it, and they said get going as soon as you fix that. But anyways, it gave us a chance to stand right in front of the Parliament and take a photo, so that wasn't bad. Now we'll just get out of town and get going towards Batman's Bay.
something like that. That's Queanbeyan. It's like an outer suburb, looks like an outer suburb of Canberra, or maybe a town outside Canberra. As we went, it took us from the Parliament area to the airport, and from airport outside, a little patch of nothing, and then we are right here. So we'll stop over here for fuel. We'll need to fuel up, and then we head straight for our first stop of the day. It's actually quite cold. There it is. So we filled up 10.67 liters. The rate is 198.9, less than $2 of course, and ended up to be 21.22. Now we'll get going. We're in the town of Queanbeyan. It comes straight after you come out of Canberra, just on the other side of the airport.
Yes, right towards Orbost Street.
I would say it's more like a satellite town or outer suburb. Look at the view, it's beautiful. It's very chilly out here. There's a very, that sharp cold wind, but there is fog right above the mountain, the hills in the horizon. Canberra looks very a bit like Melbourne, but colder and drier, I think. That's what I would say. Maybe not drier. So there's a lot of trees and stuff, but it's colder for sure. Definitely colder. It's got a lot of rolling hills around here. The creek down there looks like it's frozen. It's so bloody cold. It was supposed to be like close to zero yesterday. Yesterday was something, and it was quite a lot of challenge. Now Nickel has gone too far. It's just going too fast. Ah, that's good. He's stopping. So, thinking maybe stop here. Turned around and I'm going back to take a quick photo. It's right here. This is the border of ACT and New. Okay, so I'm getting out of SCT, Australian Capital Territory, which is from here, and entering into New South Wales. ACT is right sort of in middle of New South Wales, so it's a landlocked state. That's a sign for New South Wales. It's got something, at least a flower, and that is for Australian Capital Territory. They don't even want you to see it. It's just sort of off the road somewhere right there. So that's where we are right now, getting out of ACT. there wasn't enough space to even stand over here, so I had to park on the side. Yesterday, when we arrived in Canberra, I wanted to just stop by the signage, but it was too late, too cold, and too dark. So we just had to drive past. But anyways, now I'll get going. Nicole must be at least half an hour, 45 minutes ahead, because I had some issue with the GoPro, so I was just trying to fix that. But anyways, I'll have to catch up a little with him, so I'll get going now. I'll update on the way. But otherwise, it's cold, but it's beautiful around here. If you look around, see, it's all rolling hills and nice. The road is not too busy as well. The other side is really busy from Goulburn to Canberra. Couldn't believe how busy that was. But this side is alright. Anyways, I'll update on the way. Okay, so just a few things to note here. Number one, when I started the ride, the odometer reading said 1857, so 1857 kilometers. Right now we are at 16,889.3 kilometers. So I have essentially crossed the 15,000 kilometer mark. I had done the whole trip was pre-planned, and all the days were pre-planned as well, and we have gone precisely as per that, except the distance has gone up a little bit. There has been a little shake up in the plan along the way, but original estimation was around 16,000, but to be safe I thought, you know what, let's call it 15. And we have already crossed that mark. So, you know, in the logo and everywhere I've said 15,000 kilometers, 50 days. So it's 15,000 kilometers, it's not yet 50 days. So I've done more than 300 kilometers per hour on an average, including my rest days. So that's that. Secondly, you know, yesterday we saw a lot of the big ram, or the big merino, that massive ship. So, and I was saying, it's because of the region that has a lot of sheep. So it's true, I can see sheep everywhere, like on both sides. You could say there are sheep farms. So I don't know the difference between a ram or a sheep or a merino, but I just call it sheep. So yeah, that's on both sides. It is a fairly colder region over here. My hands are still freezing, and as we head down towards Melbourne, it will keep on getting colder. So you see on the right hand side, that's all sheep. I don't know how well the GoPro is capturing it, but it's all sheep on the right. Between the grass, there must be about, like, you know, 200-300 sheep around here at least. There are quite a lot of them just in this patch. So yeah, and I'm approximately about 75 kilometers or so from Batman's where we decided to do the first proper stop, and the fog has started. So anyways, Nikul is ahead of me. He's waiting at the petrol pump, and I'm going to catch up with him soon. I'm about 15 kilometers or so behind, but now we have fog. It's nice still, not bad. A little bit fog here and there. Just have to be careful about the any animals crossing and stuff. So we are in Birdwood now. So it says historic Birdwood, so maybe an old town, I guess. When you say old town in Australia, it's not like 500 years old. It's max 200 or 200 years. Australian history is older than that, but then you have to get into a different side of things, you know, like Aborigines and stuff.
Continue on B52 for 58 kilometres.
The stop at Birdwood, and so we just stopped at Birdwood and had a breakfast. It was I think it was a French cafe, because the person look at the sheep. The sheep everywhere. The person operating was also French. At least she had the accent. Yeah, so basically we are headed towards Batman's Bay now, and let's see what comes on the way. About 60 kilometers till there. It's a bit cold over here, and we are hoping that it will warm up as we get towards the coast. So, but let's see what happens. Don't know. But the ride is definitely beautiful, as you can see. Got trees on both sides, farms on either sides, cow and sheep. We are in National Park now. There's a long steep descent for 5 kilometers. So basically we are at a height. We are going towards the sea, which is obviously at sea level, which is ground zero level. So I was expecting this to come anyways. So it's a steep descent and obviously windy as well. We are only 37 kilometers away from our first stop now. Batman's Bay, that's where we are headed. Originally plan was to stop at Batman's Bay first, and instead we stopped earlier as it was too cold. But the views from here are amazing. You have to be careful because of the steep turns, and views can be very distracting at this stage. And the road has got potholes as well, which is not nice, but we are in Batman's Bay, and also very close to the coast now. Man, the ride between Batman's Bay and Birdwood is amazing. It's full of twisties. I'll be honest, I'm not a pro with twisties. Look at that bay. You can actually see the sea from here, and on my right is the river joining the sea. So now another thing that changed is we are on A1 now. We are back on A1, and we will stay on A1 until we reach Port Melbourne. So we are officially back on track. The distance between Birdwood and Batman's Bay is about 60 kilometers. Bulk of that distance is full of twisties, steep slopes going downwards. So you see, we have been going up all the way from yesterday, I think Robinson or something, you know, where we had climbed up the steep mountain. Since then we were at a height. We have finally come down to sea level now. We are at sea level. It already feels a little warm over here. Warm and nice, of course. Yeah, I just need to look for Nicole. I think he's already gone ahead, because since yesterday's experience where it was extremely cold, and even this morning, I think everyone is a bit, you know, worried about cold, and particularly hands freezing. And with Nicole's bike, he is actually riding like that, so, and doesn't have any. Now got bark busters, which kind of not entirely protects me, but has some sort of obstruction against the wind, whereas it doesn't. So anyways, now back on A1. I still need to check the stops further down. So, oh, there he is. I think he must have stopped for fuel, maybe. I'm absolutely fine with fuel right now. But anyways, we'll take a break and then get going further down. At Batman's Bay. I think we are still in Batman's Bay. It's a pretty big town. Nicole had to refuel his Harley because obviously it consumes more. There's some leakage of smoke in his bike. He's got two exhausts. One of them looks like there's some leakage, so there's a lot more smoke coming out. But anyways, it's just a leakage, so we should be fine riding along. Now so we are on our way. I didn't have to put any fuel in it, in the bike. I was just fine. He obviously consumes more, so he has to. You see that smoke coming out? There's a lot. But by the way, we are back in New South Wales, because Canberra, which is in Australian Capital Territory, is a landlocked state. ACT is a landlocked state, and it's kind of located inside NSW. Town of Moruya. Look at the horses. There were some bulls as well, and there was a sign for Moruya Rodeo. So apparently looks like there is rodeo popular around this area as well. Around Canberra, just as we got out of Canberra, the first town, it was there were signs for rodeo for the town as well, and there was like a board about, you know, the actual event. Apparently it happens sometime in October every year on a Sunday. So yeah, so this region may be, you know, popular for rodeo as well. Like, it's also Indian restaurant. Legacy of India. Here. Looks like a nice small town on the coast as well. Well, people would say, why would you come and open a restaurant over here? Would it give you enough business? Believe it or not, there is a good, they do good business over here. There's nice timber sculptures on the side of the road, like for example this one looks like an Aboriginal person fishing. That one with a hat, eagle here. We are going towards Bega, so we take the left. Bega is the next big town. Yes, how I know it's the next big town, because on the highway, you know, there's it's not a milestone exactly, but every 5 kilometers on A1 there is you'll see, for example, if it's Bega, you'll see B, and underneath B it says how much kilometer it's spending to reach there. So it's constantly showing B, so B for Bega. That's how I know. Okay, so now we are out of town. Golf course on the right, of course. Golf is everywhere. And we are going straight ahead. The beach is on the left. We are not going towards the beach, but there's one important thing that changed and improved, which is the weather. We do have some sunshine, and it is a lot warmer as we are close to the ocean, and we are down the hills as well. Canberra is at a height, so to get to Canberra you have to climb. Now when we are away from basically where we are, we went all the way down the hill to get here, so we are at a much lower place now. Obviously it is hilly over here, so you go rolling hills, so you know you're going up and down, but nothing like before. Melbourne 7:36. For the first time after nearly 1.5 months of riding this motorcycle, I have seen a sign for Melbourne. It's the first time since I left Melbourne I saw a sign for Melbourne. Melbourne 7:36. It feels so good. Feels like I've already accomplished it, but you know, still need to reach Melbourne. There are two goals. First goal, when I reach Melbourne, I would have completed the lap, and second goal, when I come back from Tassie, I would have done all states and capitals, and also A1 on A1 and parallel to A1. So there you go. Now I will continue on the road, probably stop, I don't know, maybe 70-80 k's down the line. Nicole is maybe already like 15-20 kilometers ahead of me, so yeah, we are going at two different speeds. I just saw this pink plane right here. It's there's a petrol pump right next to it, petrol station right next to it, and I thought I'll just quickly stop by to see what it's all about. It's actually a plane. It's stuck into the ground. It's pink color. So I think people who own the petrol station would have used it to just promote the shop or something. But that is weird and funny. It looks different from the other side. From this side it looks different. Oh, there's gunshots on it. I didn't notice that. There's actually gunshots on it. I didn't notice. See that at the bottom? Oh, it's just a replication. It's just to show that there's guns. Might not be real gunshots. So let's get going. The ride is beautiful. The weather is turning out to be really nice as well. The road is all I remember this route from years back when me and my wife we drove from Sydney to Melbourne, taking this coastal route. And I remember that the road was like rolling hills and nice and fun to ride as well, drive as well. And there are some really nice towns that come along the way. There's one that went behind Mogo, M-O-G-O. I've been there earlier. And then there's ships and cows along the way. It's a very nice ride. And Bega is the next big stop. Beautiful views. Australia is beautiful, Melbourne 726. Anyways, I'll get going and see if I'll stop at if I find something interesting along the way. Cows, what happens? There is ice cream. So we have a cheese factory and we have a dairy shed over here with cafe and ice cream. So we're going to and there's a pub as well, of course. So we're going to just stop here briefly, maybe have an ice cream. Ice cream is good in cold weather. And then we'll get going. So let's check it out. What do we have here? That's the cheese factory. Oh, they've actually got this machine and everything in there. Let's see if we can get close. Oh, there's cheese tasting and sales as well. That's the lab. Ice cream lab. So the cheese, can't really see through it properly. Yeah, there's a bit of. Anyways, we'll take a break over here and then get going. Meanwhile. Yeah, there's a pretty good ice cream. They actually make everything over here: milk pasteurizing, cheese making, milk bottling, and ice cream lab. They've got everything over here, and that is a retail shop. A good place to stop. Look at that, Bodella pub. Voted best pub in Bodella. It's probably the only pub over here. So let's get started. Oh. Okay. So I decided to make the next stop in Bega, which is about 95 kilometers from here. So once we get there, we would be 128 kilometers roughly from Orbost, where we decide to stay tonight. So goal is to make sure that we get to Orbost before 5. So 5 o'clock is sunset. If we get there before sunset, then we'll stay warm, because the sun is out, it hits up the gloves and keeps us warm. So as soon as the sun sets, overall temperature sort of drops significantly. Look at that old truck. So that's where the town kind of ends. There was an old lady who came to me and said, "Oh, you are going for a racing? Zoom, zoom." And I was like, "No, I am in a racing already around Australia." Zoom, zoom. It's Bordella Park. Got a bridge over here, and this bridge apparently opens. So if there is any boat or ship passing by underneath it, like a big one, this portion, like the one I'm riding on right now, that bit opens up and makes way for the boat or ship to just pass through. You know, with the openable bridges, they open in so many different ways. It's unbelievable. Look at that. That's Shallots. I've been staying in Shallots so many times in this tour. I didn't know this was called Shallots before. Yeah, because we never had, we have traveled around Australia. We used to call it cabins. We didn't used to call it Shallots. Some areas, they just, I don't know, maybe it's identified differently, or there's some difference in structure and stuff. Anyways, this looks like a nice big town. So we are in Rumma. It's a pretty decent sized town. This route has a lot of towns along the way. And we are in, it feels like Victoria, I don't know why. We are in New South Wales, of course. We are in the Shire of Baloa something. Bega now. Snowy Mountains is on my right hand side, so to go there you go towards the right. Snowy Mountains is where, as the name suggests, there is snow. And around this time of the year you get a lot of skiing, off-road riding in snow. In summer, a lot of hiking, off-road riding, off-road bikes, MTBs, meaning mountain bikes, all of that. I've been to Snowy Mountains, I think, 1 or 2 twice. And I also passed, because when I was going to Mount Kosciuszko, I think it was over here or a bit further down that I had turned towards that direction. Bega Valley Lookout. Let's check it out. This is Bega. Just behind me on the left hand side was Bega, the factory for Bega cheese, and they also have a cheese heritage center over there. I checked on the map, that it was temporarily closed, so I'm not going there. But if you are around here and if you want to check it out, yeah, good spot to. Bega is a pretty big company, so I'm pretty sure they would have a pretty good cheese experience.
Your destination will be on the right.
Now I am headed straight towards Eden. This is a bypass, it doesn't go through the town. Now Nikul is ahead of me. I was about to go into town, but he just called me to say don't need to go into town because the petrol pump is on the way. We have about close to 250 kilometers to go before we reach Orbost. That's where we are staying tonight. So 250 meaning, close to around 3-4 hours of riding still to do. So by the time I get there, it might be like 6:37 or so. So anyways, the good thing is the roads are smaller, less crosswinds, less cold compared to yesterday. So I'm hoping it should be just fine. My hands are starting to feel cold already, but I hope it won't be as bad as yesterday. Tomorrow's ride is going to be fantastic. It's a lot smaller than this, but anyways, we'll update once I'm at the petrol pump then. Just made a stop at Pambula for fueling up. I put in 11.67 liters. I thought it was nearly running out. Anyways, it ended up being 22.81. The rate over here is 195.5. As you can see here. Okay. So 195.5 is the rate. Now get going. So yeah, now about 200 kilometers remaining in terms of distance, in terms of daylight. The sun has basically gone, so it will start cooling up now. I have about 50 minutes of daylight remaining, which will make a big difference because as soon as it starts getting darker, it's already going to start cooling down now, and as it gets darker, it's going to cool down further. So hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, as we are closer to the sea. But in dark, when the visibility is low, driving is a little harder, so I can't drive at the same speed as I'm driving right now. My speed will definitely get cut. So overall, the enjoyment of riding is much less. Anyways, c'est la vie, such is life. So I'll update once I'm closer to Orbost. That's where we are staying tonight. So as you can see, there's nice views around here, rolling hills and cows. Orbost is 200 kilometers. So Melbourne will only be 376. That's for tomorrow. Eden, E-D-E-N. Eden is all about whales. There's a killer whale museum over here and the Timberbox Memorial. But okay, there you go. Orbost is 183 from here. So yep. And yeah, so there is a killer signs of whales is everywhere. So apparently you can killer whales, there will be a lot of sighting of killer whales around here. We are still around close to the ocean, You obviously don't see the ocean because we are a bit further inland, but even the sign for Eden, as you can see, Eden Whale Festival. So yeah, a lot to do with whales around here, and we must be close to the whaling season as well, because whaling season or whale season, when the whales are sighted around here, because they generally come during winter. In summer, I think they go towards the poles, and around winter they sort of pass by or something on those lines. So I know one thing, that during winter they are sighted more often around here. And if you want to go whale watching from the shores or from within the sea, winter is the best time to do it. Might not be the most appealing, that it won't be the most comfortable thing to do, to sit in the ocean cold, wrapped up. Yes, so yeah, we've just passed Eden, so now we're headed towards Orbost, which is I think approximately 181 kilometers from here now. So I'll update once we are closer. There seems to be some roadworks going on over here. Anyways, we'll update soon. The time is around 4:30. I'm hoping to get there by 6:30. I think that's what the hope would be, but let's see what happens. You can see, welcome to Victoria. I have finally arrived back in Victoria after taking a full circle of Australia. Now the only issue is it's a bit dark and cold right now. I do need to take a proper break, but I just can't stop over here. It's not a good place to stop, as there's nothing around here. So where I was standing, the trucks, so the vehicles were going past me very close. So I might stop at the next town briefly, which is Canberra. I think 30-40 kilometers from here. So let's see. Now we are back in Victoria. I have done the full circle of. So the only states remaining now is really pretty much Tasmania, because I'm back in Victoria. Started in Victoria and back in Victoria, and done all the states in between. So yeah, tomorrow night when we reach Port Melbourne and get on Spirit of Tasmania, that's when we'll be doing the last state, and that's it. So we have done it. Yes, Musty, you have done it. Good job. Alright, now I'll update you once I'm in Canberra. As you can see, it's a bit dark, so there's not much you can see. Anyways, so I'll update once I'm in Canberra on the status, on what's going on, cold, this, that, everything. Yep. Which town are we in? Look at that. I mean, look at, it's dark outside and he's wearing that. Which town are we in? Canberra. So we have to go from Canberra to Orbost, which is about 80 kilometers. And Nicole has a really dark visor, sorry. So he can't see anything at night. It's actually for daytime, like really sunny day. Anyways, so he's going to follow me, so let's go. I'm going to try and make it as slow as possible. the last 27 kilometers. Ah man, I've been going slow, between 60 and 80, so that oh man, Nicole is just behind me. Because his visor is dark, you know, I can't go too fast. I'm between 60 and 80. The whole idea that I think is, you know, if he needs to stop suddenly, at least it gives him enough opportunity to stop. If I start going too fast, which he wants me to, but then that's where the problem will be. So, but anyways, now we are not far. We are maybe around 26 kilometers away only. It's 7:47 and you can see it's like pitch dark. So we have arrived here in Orbost. It was a pretty hectic ride because it was very dark. It gets dark around 5 o'clock, and by the time it was 5, we still had to cover like 180 or 150 kilometers. Anyways, we started from Canberra to Birdwood. Very cold. Birdwood all the way down to Batman's Bay was windy roads, long windy roads, but a steep decline. But a beautiful ride. Batman's Bay all the way to Orbost is just amazing ride. The only thing for us was that it got dark, but otherwise the ride was the best. One of the best rides you can have in Australia for such a long distance. I've never seen such a ride ever anywhere around Australia. Secondly, by getting here we had crossed 3 state borders. First we crossed into, obviously from ACT out into New South Wales. You barely notice the border. Then from New South Wales into Victoria. There is a sign, but it's not like, you know, Queensland where they have made some space so you can actually stand and take photos. It's very bushy around, so there's a lot of trees and everything, and it was anyways dark. We got here around 7:30. We are planning to get local Chinese takeaway, and we'll try and call it a day early because we got a big day tomorrow. We are riding from Orbost to Port Melbourne, and then getting straight on to Spirit of Tassie. So yeah, really amazing day. Had a lot of fun, and Arjun went to the dinosaur museum, so he had a lot of fun there in Canberra. One more thing, when we were in Canberra, as you would have noticed in the video, we went to the parliament to take the photographs, and the police were sort of they did come and interrupt, but we sort of made reasons that okay, we had to fix the clutch. So while doing so, we just managed to take the photographs we wanted. But it was a pretty interesting scene over there. But anyways, apart from that, fantastic day. So see you tomorrow morning.